Having just hit record on this is episode 1, I've just
Mm.
realised that I haven't actually yet uploaded the character creation video to YouTube.
Oh,
I'm the worst. Anyway,
nah.
regardless, let's just address the true horror. So, Call of Cthulhu, for those of you who may be watching and don't know, is a horror role playing game based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft. If you read them, they are extremely problematic, but still stand the test of time reasonably. Um, when we made these characters 2 months ago, the character sheets were very neutral, very like extremely functional, and there's been a visual update since, which has replaced all of the fonts with Comic Sans. I don't understand why, unless it is truly to drive us all crazy.
Is it Comic
I
Sans?
think it is, or it's just something that looks like Comic Sans.
Yeah, I mean, at
We
least
all
look, there's a tentacle on the character sheet. That makes up Comic Sans.
Yeah, it does. It's true. Um, just wanted to warn the because I like some people just have a really irrational reaction to Comic Sans based on
It,
overexposure. So
yes.
thought I'd point it out, just lampshade it. Um, Unlike D&D, players do not roll D20. Call of Cthulhu's character Call of Cthulhu uses a 1d100 system. Basic role playing is the uh, underlying dice mechanic rule set. There we go. Of if you roll equal to or lower than your score, you succeed. If you roll above it, you fail. Everything's rated 0 to 100, or most things are rated 0 to 100 anyway. Magic does exist in the game, but it is very taxing, and it has a sanity system. This is not like the best game that represents the Lovecraft mythos, and as wider awarenesses as awareness is raised about things like mental health problems. I truly believe it's going to step away from. I hope it's going to step away from the sanity mechanic, but this is the 7th edition and it's still baked in, so who knows? For other approaches to the Cthulhu mythos, the I think it's Fate of the Mythos or something. There's a evil hat game that uses fate that does it really well, where the horror is less mental health and more that as you fight against the mythos, you become less and less human yourself. So it's more like the existential side of things rather than mental health. Kenny, that is a good point. This is not going to be terribly doom and gloom. This is only going to be short, like 2, 3, 4 session thing, I think. But a couple of people haven't played Call of Cthulhu and were interested, and we needed to buy time for Liam to fix his computer so we can finish D&D. So here we are. So I think that was really everything I wanted to cover. We just need to wait for Andrew to get back now.
Oh, I'm
Has
back.
there been any update on Liam's computer?
Yes, it works now. He he replaced his GPU and all the problems disappeared. So once we're finished here, I offered him the chance to play. Angel's one of my players in that game, and she knows that she's heard the stories. I offered him the chance to play, but he didn't want to take it, and that's fair. So Harlow's Point, general context for those. No one will have seen the character creation session because it's not on YouTube. Harlow's Point is essentially a 1923 version of like Center Parcs or Butlins. It's a holiday village on the coast of northern England. And that's basically all you need to know. Would you like to let's go with alphabetical order, so starting with Andrew and then Matthew and then William. Just introduce your character and their occupation, and if you want to give a reason why they're here, go for it. If not, that's fine.
Okay, my character is called John Rules. He's a police officer, quite a young police officer. Definitely half the age of everyone else. But and he's in the town because he's been posted there for, not really doing his job very well. That's my guy.
Mine is Alexander Bodley, a librarian, about 52 years old, and is here on a well-deserved break from the big city librarian life.
And my character is Andrew McCall, a slightly or rather wizened 65-year-old antiquarian who has reasonable acquaintance with Alexander. They've crossed paths professionally in the past, and he's just here in Harlow's Point having a much needed bit of convalescence by the sea after an illness in the winter of the last year.
Okay, so yes, a note on as Andrew raised the matter of age, as characters in Call of Cthulhu are normal everyday people, age does have an impact, and we had much hilarity when that was revealed, because I didn't tell them beforehand when I was asking how old their characters were.
No, you didn't.
So watch that on YouTube if you want to see it. Although, because it was only 55 days ago, I think the video on demand is still on the channel for another 5 days. So I guess you could watch it on Twitch as well. So yes, Hollow's Point. It for convalescence purposes does have a quite well-renowned bathhouse, which the promotional material that was in like all of the flyers and newsletters, newspapers, proclaimed that it was heated by the new method. Didn't go into what the new method was, just that there was this really relaxing bathhouse there that will cure what ails you.
I can't wait.
The winter of 19... Angel Wraith has suggested Hellfire. The winter of 1923 so far has been long, it has been cold, but so far has been relatively free of snow. With the Great War being 5 years past, life has mostly returned to normal. But like the wounds are still there, both psychological and physical. Amputees still queue for unemployment. Work is scarce. But you are some of the lucky few who can afford to take a holiday, for want of a better word, at Harlow's Point. As I mentioned, Harlow's Point is on the north, in the north of England. It's on a peninsula. It's entirely fictional. Please don't go looking for it. You won't find it.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah. It is separated from the rest of the country by a range of mountains / hills, depending on who you ask. That is only easily crossed via a single 2-lane, like a standard-sized road, pass. And the three of you are on what you've been told is the last bus of the season. It is a proudly like a bright scarlet bus in the proud livery of Union Bus Hire, being driven by a man whose name tag identifies him as Samuel. He asks that you called him Sam when he stowed your luggage in the bus boot, I guess. And the thick grey clouds that have been kind of following you your entire journey from the nearest place of civilization have slowly started to kind of eject their contents. It's a steady, reasonably thick snowfall. The bus lights are cutting through the snow easily enough. There is if you care to look out of the windows on either side, you just see kind of rolling grassland towards the mountains ahead of you. And you can see a fog slowly lifting from the cold grass as you approach the peninsula itself. Sorry. The road does wind back and forth on itself as you drive, as Sam drives, more accurately, up it, heading for the pass itself. By the time you reach the pass, it's pretty dark. It's about 5 o'clock in the evening, so the sun has mostly set and you've got the snow cover. The only lights around are the headlights of the bus and the interior lights. It's a fairly modern bus in that it has interior lighting. And as the bus crests the pass, you can see the lights of the village beneath you. Hollow's Point, you know from the literature, is a fishing village that kind of agrees to lease several of its houses out to the owners, the Bells. Sebastian Bell being the manager and the one who's signed all of the contracts and communication with you, and Lottie Bell, his wife. And you know also that it's got a small wall around it, outside of which is farms and where the permanent village staff live. The rest of the village itself is mostly occupied with fishing or small cottage industries. Kenny, I have seen your points. I will reply to them in a moment. And as the bus crests the pass and you're looking down over the, I guess it would look like a star-filled landscape beneath you. The snow falling keep settling as a white blanket on the countryside. The twinkling electric lights of street lamps and things. You realise that, all of you realise, even without making a listen check, that Sam is swearing quietly under his breath, but with much force. And then the bus starts sliding out of control.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
What do you do?
How fast is it going?
Right now, not that fast. It's a 1920s bus that's just gone up a steep hill, so it's not terribly it wouldn't have that great torque or horsepower. So right now, you got even odds of jumping out to safety without hurting yourself. That kind of speed.
Mm-hmm. Does it have seatbelts?
There are seatbelts on the bus, yes.
Great.
Okay. I just put my seatbelt on.
Yeah, I think I'm 65 and I have a cane. I ain't jumping out in the bus. That's a young man's game.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you say we're sort of in a valley between the hills, or were we on a hill / mountain drive-in? So if I was to jump out, would I be likely to land onto snow or nothing? Air, fall.
Yeah, so a pass is just a narrow flat area between the peaks. It's wide enough for the road, and then there's a small verge, but the kind of landscape that you are in, you imagine there might be rocks buried beneath the snow that has settled.
I guess I'll brace for impact then.
It's entirely up to you. I was just making you aware of that.
Yeah. I'm bracing.
Okay, so let's have. I don't mind. It's your choice, but I'd like a strength or a constitution check, please. If you click on the the 3-letter abbreviation, it should run.
Oh yes, I see.
Yikes.
Ooh.
Yikes.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
You're dead.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, I've just read lower numbers are better.
Lower numbers are better. If you want to, you can spend luck points to lower your rolls 1 for 1.
Yeah.
Or you can try to push your luck, but if you fail, it is a fumble, which is usually
No, I'm just gonna take whatever I get here.
Okay.
Oh, I'm tempted to push. No. I don't want to lose all my luck at like
Yeah,
the
it
first
would
second
be
of the game.
When does it tell you how much luck you've got?
above your hit points on the left-hand side.
Oh, yes, I see, yes.
Don't sound so lucky if you don't know how much luck you have.
Well, things just happen. I don't know if they're lucky or not. They just happen.
A note on
That's
luck,
like-
actually. There is a Nightbot timer going, but people in chat can bless you with 1 luck point
Oh.
with channel points. Fortunately, I know Andrew's and Matthew's Twitch usernames, so I can see if they're giving themselves luck points.
What if I give Matthew one and Matthew gives me one? So that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want to spend luck, though?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Take what you can get.
Unless I die straight away, then yes. No, not this early.
No, it's fine. The bus starts accelerating, gravity just doing its job, as it inevitably will, dragging you, Sam, your luggage, and what you imagine could quite easily turn to be a large metal coffin at any moment down the hill. Disaster is averted through 2 simple facts. One, it's the 1920s and the bus wasn't going fast to begin with. And 2, the road does turn to allow for an easier climb on the way out, which means that the bus eventually just after a couple of meters or yards, if you prefer, a couple of meters or 3 times as many yards, does just end up driving into a snowdrift. Unfortunately, the snowdrift is also host to a dry stone wall that has been erected to separate a field from the road. So essentially, Alexander and John are just knocked unconscious by
Oh my goodness!
By the deceleration. There's no damage taken. You're just unconscious.
Can I administer, check on them and administer any first aid or emergency aid that they might need?
Yes, of course. You can take a couple of moments to sort out the seat belt and 2 first aid is the thing, right? Yeah.
Yes, first aid is
2 first aid checks, please.
Sure.
Oh
boy.
Who would you have gone to first?
Where we all sat on the bus. That's the question. How full is the bus? Is it just us?
It was just the 3 of you and the driver.
Well, I feel like I would be closer to Alexander because, as I say, I have an acquaintance with him already, so I would probably be closer. So it's going to be Alexander first.
I'll remember that.
No, you won't. You're unconscious.
Good point.
And then you might just have induced memory loss.
So Alexander is bruised from the seatbelt impact and will probably maybe have some difficulty breathing for a little bit as the ribs heal because his entire chest will be bruised.
Yep.
But basic first aid check reveals that he'll be fine.
Good.
Hey, thank you.
You think the best you can really do is just take the seatbelt off and make sure it's lying comfortably for the
Yes, I do that.
problem.
So, was the recovery position a thing in the 20s?
I looked into this the other day. I think it was.
If so, I probably just put him in the recovery position.
Well, because I run another Call of Cthulhu game. We do a lot of what was around in the 20s. It's like fingerprinting, totally a thing in the 20s.
Do you now? You run another one? Oh my god.
Yeah, they pay me to run that one though.
Oh, that's fun.
Recovery position.
Wait, you guys you 2 aren't paying? Wait.
Actually, in this time, the Red Cross and St. John Ambulance recommended lying a patient on their back.
Well, that is what I will do. For I have have a passing, slightly more than basic knowledge of first aid, so I would be aware of the recommendation and hence follow them.
Yep. Recovery position at this point, after your quick Wikipedia for people watching and for personal knowledge, it was suggested in 1891 as a treatment of stroke victims.
Oh.
But it wasn't largely adopted until much later.
Did they also crash him into a wall beforehand?
No, they did
No.
not.
Okay. Just checking.
Okay, Matthew gets 1 luck point.
Oh, thank you.
As far as you can tell, as you're doing that, John is in a similar position. He's just going to be bruised and maybe have a bit of whiplash. Samuel is groaning. He was also wearing his seatbelt. He's kind of slumped, spread-eagled, arms kind of hanging over the steering wheel. The front windscreen is cracked. There is some steam coming from the radiator on the front of the bus.
Oh, also, I should probably make sure Sam is okay. Can't forget about the driver.
Can I have a first aid for Sam, please?
Sure. Oh, yes, look at that.
Goodness.
He's in a worse position, whereas you suspect that Alexander merely has bruising. As you get closer, there's a uncomfortable sound to Sam's breathing quality that suggests he may have cracked or broken a rib. Probably on the steering wheel.
Yes, because it would have been made of steel.
After a minute or so, I'd probably stand up and walk to the front.
Yeah, you both
see if we can get the doors open.
The doors are openable. They're just at a slightly weird angle because as the bus crashed through the dry stone wall, there was a ditch on the other side of it, and it just kind of tipped down into it.
Did anyone check on me?
Yeah, I did. I just didn't do very well.
I was unconscious, so I didn't notice.
Yeah, you stir. Life is pain in your chest right now. The seatbelt is really digging in somewhere that should not be this painful.
I'll make a comment about how seatbelts kill more people than they save.
Fantastic.
Damn newfangled things.
I'd want to try and get out the doors and look to see just how close we are to the town.
You were still at the top of the hill, so you're maybe 1.5 miles or 2 miles away, and the snow has continued to fall. But as you look out, so looking out the front windscreen, which as I say is cracked, you can just see the like smoke rising from the radiator. There's a regular flashing or sparking from where one of the headlamps is broken on the bus itself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know necessarily if that's going to cause a fire, but you can just see that at least is damaged.
I just want to have a look at it and just see, maybe can I tell whether it would cause any problems or not? Just for a quick look.
Mechanical repair skill.
Oh.
There is. I'm not very good at it. Let's have a
to try.
Nope.
Yeah, you have no idea.
No idea. Okay. I'll get back on and say it looks like there's something cracking, but I don't know if it's anything bad, and maybe we should get off the bus in case anything happens.
Get off, but it's freezing outside.
Do we have our?
It's not that warm on the bus. You have cold weather gear because you know what the weather's like.
Oh, okay. Well, then.
Which is essentially just wool, like wool overcoat, wool trousers, boots.
Can Sam move?
Slowly, but equally leaving him on the bus is probably not the best idea for his continued health. So
we'd better...
his continued existence, by the sounds of it. I'd give him a hand. I'd like try and help him up, but I'm going to ask John and Randy to give me a hand as well.
Sure. I turn to John and say, since you're complaining about how painful your chest is, perhaps you should not help move another person.
If you could do it yourself, then fine.
I can try, but as you can see, I'm getting on in years, and I have a walk with a cane.
I will help. I will help you.
I'll
Sam.
roll my eyes and help as you two complain about old age. Ha! I'll never get old.
Not with that attitude, Sonny. Honestly, the kids of today so disrespectful.
Are you doing anything about your luggage?
Probably leave it.
No, I think we'd get the driver off first and then see how well he can walk. And if he can walk with just one of us helping, maybe the other one can grab, maybe like the rest of us can grab the luggage and see.
Okay. He can as you kind of lift him out, he is the bitter cold kind of stirs him out of the days that he's been in just from pain and shock, and he kind of limps over to the remnants of the wall and leans against it. So he can walk unaided. It's just slow.
I'd say we grab our stuff. Better than leaving it here.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not too fussed with my stuff because I can come back and get it. Can I just make sure I've got my my valuable weapon given to me by the government?
You can have your service issue handgun, yes.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do it sneaky like, so the others don't know I have it.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bus. You can totally open the boot and get your stuff out without people noticing.
I don't trust the old man.
How rude.
You don't know Shroud because I've done it sneaky.
My crotchety old man sense is tingling.
Yeah, I'll grab my luggage. I'm probably traveling quite light anyway.
Okay.
Just a small case.
Yeah, I'll grab mine as well, or at least some of mine. I feel like I would maybe have a lot of stuff. I'm planning a long and comfortable convalescence.
And do we just start heading towards the town?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just typing something.
Yeah, maybe looking out for any other vehicles or anything else who might be able to help us.
It's only one road forwards and back, isn't it? So we know the way to go. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, you can see the lights as well from the village. It's the only source of light nearby now. I mean, you've got a little bit of moonlight making it through the clouds, and everything is kind of. The road itself is still pretty easy to follow because it's reasonably dark beneath the layer of snow, but the snow's started to build up along the sides of the road and along trees and walls, hedges, that kind of thing as you walk down. So is anyone helping Sam, or are you just leaving him to walk?
I'm helping. Yeah.
Okay. So with Sam kind of arm over John's shoulders, you make your way down the road. It is slippery underfoot, but you've got sensible shoes on, so it doesn't matter all that much. There's a couple of moments where your feet start to go out from under you, but you catch yourself, and obviously Andrew, Randy, whichever, has the cane to help him. And you get about you're walking for about let's say Oh gosh, so it'd be 20 minutes normally. About 50 minutes maybe. Trying not to fall over and stuff. In the snow when you meet a couple of people with a torch, like great woolen coats, scarves, two very sturdy looking wooden staffs, kind of making their way up the hill. They seem they're so intent on getting up the hill without falling over, they don't even notice you until like they're right in front of you.
I guess we'll wave and shout for help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they stop and make their way over like across the road to you. Through the scarves, the voices are muffled, but the kind of build and the pitch of both voices would suggest male. The taller of the two, the one with the torch, kind of turns to you. Is everything okay? We saw the lights of the bus disappear and feared the worst.
The bus slid on the ice and crashed. Fortunately, we're mostly okay.
They kind of share a look, and then clearly, like, Sam is being supported by John. Do you need any help there with poor Sam?
Oh yeah. Samuel here's hurt.
Yes.
The shorter of the two kind of scurries across and takes Sam's other shoulder. Dr. Campbell will no doubt want to have a look at him and do what he can. Is anyone else injured?
You say Dr. Campbell?
Campbell.
Ah. Okay.
A name which heretofore did not exist, but I will write down so I don't forget.
No, just a little, but I feel okay. I'm like rubbing my chest. It hurts a lot more than I'm letting on.
Okay.
I think I am. So I'll go with him. Split the party, yeah!
Split the party.
Well, there's only one way you can go anyway, and that's into the village.
Split the party! Let's split it 3 ways as soon as we can.
And if you want to, you can. There's nothing stopping you, obviously.
Except your wrath.
You're all dead. Start again.
Another bus comes and crashes next to the first one.
By the end of the stream, there's just like a unholy bus caterpillar.
A bus graveyard.
I mean, you're all going to the same place anyway. But they with help, it's far easier to move Sam, and you do make slightly better speed, especially as they kind of point out where they've had problems on the way up, so they know where to avoid the especially slick patches of ice on the road. And about 15-20 minutes later, you start walking along. The road is still, I guess the word is declined at this point because you're going down. But it is slowly leveling off, and it's a lot more gentle of a slope now. And you can see that you're walking through, not grazing fields, but where farmers have purposely sown like crops and things. And you see farmhouses set back from the road for a good 10 minutes, and then you reach basically the limits of the map, and you reach a cluster of buildings around a couple of like side streets, specifically these buildings, that most of them don't have lights on that you can see, but they could just have really thick curtains, you suppose. You can hear off in the distance over the heavy breathing over the crunching of the snow. The sound of fast running water, and you can see the medieval wall around the village of Hollows Point itself, kind of emerging out of the snow-filled darkness. There are a couple of lights kind of moving at the base of the wall, and you, within kind of minutes, see that there are people waiting there, kind of peering out into the darkness as best they can. And when they see the 4 of you plus the 2 who came, so 6 of you, there are kind of cries of delight and happiness that you're all safe, essentially.
Do people usually cheer when you're walking into a town?
They do now.
I've never had this reception before.
Oh, haven't you? They do when I walk in the town.
The 2 figures with you, of the 2 figures with you, the one with the torch kind of hurries off and they have a whispered conversation with one of the people who've been waiting. That person nods and kind of runs back into the village itself. They are either like a tall child or a short teenager. It's hard to tell underneath the cold weather clothing. And as you kind of reach the gate, so to speak, now there is a gate. It's open. The one with the torch turns back. Dr. Campbell has been informed he'll be opening his practice up for examinations if needed.
How far was it to? I'll mention to one of them that I don't really have much money for the doctor.
Well, fortunately, the package price does include some limited provision for
good
minor accidents.
Because Glorious Bevan has not been born yet.
I was going to say that, yeah.
He's probably born.
Probably been born, but yeah.
He's not up north. They don't know him up north.
Or in Wales.
He's from Wales, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you say he hasn't been born yet.
Well, who knows?
Depends how old he was.
He'd have been 23.
Oh, he was born in 1900, was he?
1897.
Yeah.
So we're 26.
Oh, sorry, is it 23? Sorry,
Yeah,
I just saw 1920s. Okay.
No worries.
Mm-hmm.
I can add the date to the map if you want. Would that help?
Oh, don't worry. It's fine.
Not right now.
I've made a note. Yeah.
Okay.
Your note was the actual date. My note was no Bevan yet.
No.
I focus on the wrong information.
I'm going to spend the rest of the session trying to set up a National Health Service before we get to chapter 2.
The statue from Cardiff disappears.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So we've done the first minute of the story. Sorry, Ryan.
The figure with the torch that you've been following kind of inclines his head to indicate you to follow. I can take you straight to Dr. Campbell's practice if you want. The hall is... Well, it was all set up for your evening meal. I can't imagine that's changed. It might be a bit cold by now, but you can go straight there if you'd rather eat now.
It can't be that cold because we're not that later than the bus.
It's taken you about 40 minutes to do what the bus would do in about 5.
Then yeah. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
So yeah.
Reason.
Well,
Can they pop in the microwave? Wait.
what is a microwave?
Right, you're gonna blow their minds. First NHS, now microwave. Get it.
What's next? Cellular telephones?
What's next? Telephones and then cellular.
Telephones in the 20s.
Was there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, when my mum was young, they only had one on a street, so I didn't know.
To be fair, they were rich people stuff.
Ah, yes.
Oh yeah. Not
Like the NHS. Wait.
Wait.
Not everyone would have had a telephone. But
But they were a thing.
the telephone was patented in 1876 by Graham Bell.
Oh.
Yes, it
Was
was.
CFAX around at this point?
No.
No.
I'll head over to the hall that they've pointed out. I don't think I need any medical attention right away.
Yeah, I feel fine, sir, and I am starving.
Okay. The hall is the building by
Mhm.
itself on the thing.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Are you going to the hall as well, John?
No, I'm going to the doctor because I think there's something wrong with me.
Okay, we'll go with the majority first then.
Yep.
The path up to the hall is signposted, and the other figure that was waiting at the gate kind of accompanies you, so you can't get lost anyway. It takes you. So it essentially you're following the road here, and then just turning left at the edge of the darker patch. Which it appears to be like a village green with a chain link fence around it for now.
Okay.
But the road is cobbled stone, so it's a bit treacherous, but nothing too bad. The snow is still piling up here, and you can only imagine that come the morning it's going to be dangerous or difficult to traverse the streets easily. And when you turn off onto the path up to the hall, or the road, it's a road up to the hall. Again, it's treacherous underfoot, but the texture of the cobblestones have had that like groove sectioning put in to allow for like horses to gain traction, and it does help immeasurably. The circular thing on the map that's kind of in its own in that middle of that triangle is a bell tower, a church tower.
Okay.
You can see the ruins of a church attached to it, but all that is not ruined is the tower itself with the clock face on it. It kind of stretches up into the night, and you can't really see the clock easily through the snow and darkness. But you can, as you kind of walk past it, it does chime the quarter past the hour, so that at least works.
What hour? Because I don't really know what sort of time would we think.
It'll be about 6:15, let's say.
Okay, so early-ish evening.
Oh wait, I said it was 5 o'clock. So it'll be 6:45. Sorry.
Okay. Right.
So it'll be kind of like your starters would have been served, essentially.
Okay.
Dinner time.
Yeah.
They are quite old. So they probably eat quite early.
I was about to say it's almost too late.
The road that you're on goes over a bridge with wonderfully carved stone parapets towards the hall itself. If you care to look over it, there's like a frozen watercourse beneath it that joins the two kind of patches of grassy parkland on either side. Again, the chain link fence kind of runs from the edge of the bridge all the way around them. But the hall, once you clear the wall around it, is illuminated. Every window has golden lights shining out of it. You can't really see the facade very well because of the dark and the rain, but you can see the windows, so you know where they are. And you are led to the impressive double doors. Because of what? And they are opened for you by sheer dint of the fact that the person accompanying you gets there first and knocks on them. And you're ushered in. It's warmer. It's much warmer on the inside. The entrance hall has this like grand roaring fireplace. You suspect mostly for the benefit of the uniformed, I guess footman is the right word, standing behind the doors, ready to close them as you shut out the foul weather as you enter. The person that is with you hangs, her coat on a coat rack and kind of brushes the snow from scarf and bottom of her dress and the boots, and she kind of turns and regards you with rather like piercing slate grey eyes. Dinner is this way, and she kind of gestures with a hand to a rather ornate door next to a grand staircase, beyond which you can hear kind of muted conversation. If you just care to use the coat rack, and she gestures to the very expansive coat rack, which already has like 5 or 6 coats on it. There's room for 20 or 30. The staff will help with will help dry your belongings for the trip to your house later this evening. So, do you leave everything behind?
Certainly take my coat off and put my bags down.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no reason not to. Although I do make sure to double check that my case is locked, because I do have a lock. And would there be a numerical lock? They'd have had that. It's very basic mechanical.
Yeah, combination locks would exist. As would padlocks.
Yeah. So I've got one of those on there just to make sure it stays closed. I just double checked that it wasn't damaged in the crash, and then hang up my coat.
Okay.
And go in.
Streamlabs keeps having a hissy fit about something. I don't know what. Inside is a grand dining room. Absurdly long, elaborately carved table of dark polished wood. Enough room for like 20 or 30 people, but there's currently only it would be 7 with the woman taking her place. And it's laid for quick maths. 11? No. 12. It's laid for 12. And there are like name cards on each place setting. Many of them have been kind of lain down or discarded in some similar fashion, but yours are all still standing in pride of place in front of plates that are covered with silver cloches. The like dome that they put over food to keep it warm. Or I guess polished cloches, let's say. Essentially, the other people who are here are kind of like all dressed in a rather wealthy fashion. There's much jewellery on display, or pocket watches, waxed mustachios on the men, earrings and necklaces on the women. Everything here is obvious signs of wealth, let's say. But you are... your seats are pulled out for you by staff who are just kind of lining the walls. And if you do sit, they are pushed in for you, and the cloches are removed to reveal what you imagine is the starter of the meal.
Has all of these other people who are sat here, have they eaten yet, or are their cloches open the same time as ours?
Their cloches are open the same time as yours, and one of them, one of the kind of upper middle-aged woman. She does give you a look. It's like about time. She doesn't say anything. It's just a quick look under slightly furrowed brows, like artfully placed beauty spot, hair perfectly coiffed. This is not a look that is achieved quickly. She has spent time, or has paid someone else to spend time on it for her. And it's going to waste if she's not eating.
I just stare down at my food. I pick up my fork, but I sort of wait for someone else to start eating first before I do. I feel like it'd be a bit rude to just dig in right away when we've kept them waiting so long.
A man wearing a military uniform begins eating with gusto, so you don't have to wait very long. The woman kind of as that man's about to put the first forkful in his mouth, she just kind of politely clears her throat. They're all safe. Thank you for asking. And then pointedly starts eating in silence.
Would I recognize his military outfit?
British Army.
Okay. But I mean, it's just a couple of years after
Yeah, no,
the war's
it's
finished, and
it's-
I was based in Germany for a lot of it. I'd be a bit worried if we were sat here with the enemy.
No, it's the closest so far is the woman does have a German accent. And that's it.
Would I? Not that it'll make any difference. No, don't worry about it.
You sure?
Yeah, because I wouldn't. Yeah, no, go on, just carry on. I was going to ask something. Would I know? Like, is it a very strong accent? Does it sound like she's been here for a long time, or she just came over? I do speak a bit of German, you see, so
no, that's fine.
As in my character.
You think that she's probably not been in Germany for quite some time.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Just trying to get a taste of who's here.
That's fine. I assume that Andrew is equally sitting down and eating.
Oh yes, yeah. He was slightly less concerned about manners and almost started tucking in, but he did just about manage to remember to. He sort of glanced up as he was raising a bite to his mouth and then put it down.
That's fine. And the meal resumes, progresses, starts, insert relevant word, with like hesitant gusto. People are clearly hungry and definitely do want to start their meal, but at the same time feel like they have been somewhat shamed by her concern for the three of you and Sam, and the fact that none of them went with her or the other people that met you on the road, essentially. But it's kind of standard dinner conversation, British conversation. How long do you think the snow's going to last? The man in the military uniform is addressing a woman who is likely his wife, about their plans, and I say I really do want to go out on a fishing vessel. I've heard wonderful things of that nature. On the other side of the river, John, Sam, the other guy who's supporting Sam, the guy with the torch, are all heading for the doctor's practice. The doctor's practice is this large building down here. If you can see my ping, I really should change the colour of it.
Oh yeah, I see it.
No, I'm just going to set it to white because it's pretty easy to see on this. It should be easier to see anyway. Yeah, it's easier to see. And the bridge, when you cross the river, is slick with ice underfoot, and you kind of have to catch Sam as his foot goes out from under him, and he kind of cries out in pain. The buildings that you walk past, because going up to the hall, you don't really walk past many, but the buildings on this side of the river are small, kind of stone buildings, built closely together. The roads between them are reasonably narrow. I should point out that this patch of road here, the wider bit, the main road, that's actually a bridge going over like a low track along the side of the river. And you kind of make your way to the doctor's practice. The buildings are clearly signposted. You know from the literature that there's the doctors, there's the grocers, police station. The police station also doubles as the harbour master's office. So you imagine that the harbour master has like his own office space there. But everything that you are allowed to, well, not you because you work here, but everything that the guests are allowed to interact with has been clearly signposted. If it is not signposted, it is private property. I don't believe you really walk past anything of note. You do not. And before long, you're standing in front of a single story, like everything here, but like double width building, slightly set back from the road. It has a cobbled path with, you imagine, grass on either side, because it's just snow at the minute, and a couple of trees kind of poking through the snow. The windows are shuttered, but you can see in the as you're looking at it, the right hand side, light shining through gaps in the shutters. And next to the door is a brass plaque that just reads, "Practice of Dr. Matthias Campbell, MD," and any other, initials that would indicate a medical doctor of the time. I'm not terribly good at that level of knowledge. But the guy with the torch kind of knocks on the door and opens it, ushering you inside. I guess, do you go in? Do you look around a bit more?
Not if we're injured. I'll probably be keen to get in.
Okay, that's fine. Inside, it's warmer by dint of fact. There's no, wind chill factor. I realised I need to add a medicine value to this character sheet for the doctor.
I'm hoping he's got high points in medicine.
I mean, he's a doctor, so I hope so.
Yeah, maybe. It's a functional entry hall. Coat rack, hat stand, coat rack, like umbrella stand. Could fit maybe 5 on each. But there is a large wooden door, large panelled wooden door of oak, maybe, hanging open with the light kind of spilling through it, and a teenage boy does stick his head through the gap as you kind of enter and close the door behind you. The doctor's ready, Dad, and the guy with the torch just nods. Right, go back to the hall. Just eat your dinner. We'll be up when we're ready. And the teen kind of steps out and starts putting clothes back on and getting ready to go back out into the cold. But you are shown into an office. Walls lined with. It's not a big office, but it's. Let's say 10 feet by 15, so 3 meters by 5. Like a medium-sized office. The walls are covered in books with titles in a variety of languages. The ones that you recognize are mostly probably medical related. But there are a couple of like history ones you recognize as well, and others on various subjects, whether in English. A large wooden desk with like a filing cabinet system, a filing cabinet next to it, and then a low leather sofa, chair, table, like small conversational area for probably like more intimate appointments or just informal meetings between the doctor and friends, that kind of thing. And beyond the desk is a second open door where you can hear someone moving around. The guy with the torch. Sorry, I need to have a drink.
Was that the guy with the torch saying that, or was that you saying that?
That was me saying that, sorry. And dead. The guy with the torch, he hasn't really done anything other than unwind the scarf from his face, and he's just kind of a middle-aged guy with a well trimmed beard, mustache, piercing kind of blue eyes. Is just striding through the office, snow falling off his clothes and his boots with every footstep. For that second door, and he throws it open, and is as you and the other guy carrying Sam between you, step through. He is having a conversation with an elderly man, like nose and cheeks red with probably the cold that he's just walked through to get here, maybe, if he was at the hall, or for some other reason. He appears to be wearing just like plain shirt, suspenders, trousers, shoes, but he has like a half a pair of spectacles sticking out of one trouser pocket, and he turns to look over as you arrive, and he gestures to, because this is like a small treatment room, so there's like a bed, a large seat, very limited kind of hand washing facilities with like a tap and a sink, and he gestures for you to put Sam on the table. On the table, on the bed. On the bed, please. I'll attend to the unfortunate Sam first. I told him this would happen eventually.
The unfortunate Sam.
Well, what else do you say to a man who's had his ribs broken by a steering wheel?
That was funny. Imagine if that was his name, like, all the time.
Call me Sam. My friends call me unfortunate.
Yeah, my friends call me unfortunate Sam. Why is that? Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about
it. Anyway, yeah, back to the game.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'll see to the poor unfortunate Sam first, and then if you just want to, it gestures to like the seat. If you just care to take a seat, I'll get you as quickly as I can, sir. And starts kind of fussing over Sam, and eventually gets him comfortable as best he can, just like patting his chest more than anything, and then turns his attentions to you.
Sam, okay?
As he's talking, as he's explaining everything, Sam simply has a couple of fractured ribs. I just like telling him how to like sit and lie and breathe for, during this time period, a while. It's going to take a while for it to heal if it does properly, but yeah, you're fine. I hate the fact I can't set these dice as custom dice. You only have bruises and like some slight swelling. He thinks that your pain might be just psychosomatic more than anything. His examination does reveal the gun, but he doesn't say anything about it.
Does there have a gun in your pocket?
Are you happy to see me?
And as he finishes his kind of examination of you, John, he does turn to the guy that accompanied you, who by this time has taken his hat and coat off, and they're just draped over a chair by the fire, which is clearly has not been lit very long, because it's still quite small and burning through the kindling, but it's still warming the room a little bit. He turns to that guy and well, this one gestures at John. He can go to the hall and eat with the rest if he wants, and he kind of over his shoulder to you, John. Just don't drink too much alcohol, and come see me in the morning if you have any lingering pain beyond just bruising. But poor Sam's going to have to stay here at least overnight until I can get him comfortable, shall we say. And the guy kind of just nods as if he'd expected this.
Did you say anything suspicious then? I don't think so.
Are you saying that out loud?
Oh, God.
I mean, it's a psychology. Psychology is the skill to roll if you want to pass any hidden meanings.
No. I don't think I'd notice it if I was in pain. That's the point. I'm in pain.
I would say that it's a hard difficulty because you're distracted by the pain.
Yeah, don't worry, but I'll be okay. I'm just I don't trust old-timey doctors and these things.
Yeah, but you got to remember, this is currently a modern-timey doctor for you.
Yeah, it is. Old-timey for you is like leeches and plague masks.
Which is ironic, because that's what we use now.
Oh, dang, he got us.
I meant the leeches more.
Has someone been giving you leeches to treat COVID? Because I think that
Well,
might be a scam.
Not COVID, but genuinely, they do use leeches and maggots still.
Yeah, well, maggots
do
are really good for getting rid of dead flesh. So.
They certainly are.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't come up much in my life as admin assistant, but when it does, it really works.
Not in my professional life, but in my outside of work.
Yeah, in my extra activity.
Extracurricular.
Well, that's too
Why have
much.
you got that? Why have you got that bucket of maggot? Don't worry about it. Just walk out. Oh no. This could be this week's elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah, I feel I should point out, when we did the character creation session, much hilarity was had over elephant guns, so I suspect elephants will be a recurring joke, staple for this short one-shot. Anyway, the guy with the torch is just kind of watching all of this, nods in response to the doctor's words. Just looks at you, John. Do you want to go to the hall for food, or would you rather stay here? I can have food sent down.
No, if the doctor thinks I'm fine, I should leave him to look after poor Samuel.
He nods. Yes, of course. I noticed you had no luggage. Did you leave that on the bus? Do I need to send some staff out to get it?
Yeah, it's on the bus. I'm not too worried about it. It's just my clothes, isn't it? You know, it was important to get here and see the doctor. Things are not as important.
He inclines his head. Of course. Well, I'll take you to the hall, and I'll have some of the staff go for your belongings in the morning, if that's okay.
Oh yes, that would be good.
Very good. Once the evening meal has been concluded, we will your house key will be provided, and the directions to your accommodations will be handed over.
Excellent.
He is treating you as a guest because you haven't introduced yourself as the new police officer. So
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I don't have much money. I'm sort of just gonna roll with it.
okay. So he starts the laborious process of putting his winter gear back on, and leads you back out and over the river, which is running rather quickly beneath the bridge, and then past the clock tower and up the hill to the hall. When you eventually join the others, or rejoin the others, I should say, you do have a seat at the table. The food being served to you is of slightly lower quality than of everyone else, but it is there. They are currently kind of the mains. There we go. The main courses has very recently been served, and you are kind of indicated to start eating if you wish. The guy with the torch kind of stoops to give the woman with the slate grey eyes a kiss on the cheek, and then takes his place at the head of the table, and starts to eat himself. Not like eat himself, but starts to his own meal.
God, that went extreme really quickly.
I turn to John and I say, John, wasn't it? How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm okay. It's nothing much. Just Sam. He's not good. He's hurt.
I do. Well, hopefully he recovers speedily.
What have we got for food?
Let's say that with the exception of John and a couple of other people. So John's kind of like at the end of the. For shorthand, we'll just say rich people seats. There are a couple of other people kind of closer towards the woman's end of the table. They're wearing much more kind of practical and hard-wearing clothing, shall we say. And you're having like fish with the trimmings, but it's on much less fancy porcelain. The cutlery is of a much more much less decorative fashion, and there's more food on each plate, but it's less fancy than what the quote unquote rich people from like Andrew up the table are eating.
Yeah, see, I was asking my fellow player that rather than you, Mr. DM. But
Okay, well, that's the information. Use it as you will.
I know, I was just trying to put them on the spot. Usually I try to put you on the spot and make you do this stuff.
How
I
dare
thought
you
for
try and put
once-
us on the spot? How
I thought,
rude.
well, you've been eating it for 10 minutes, so I thought if you didn't know, that'd be weird.
I was about to answer, but I had a mouthful of like roast potato, so couldn't.
What is the trimmings for fish?
That is a good question.
Smaller
Chips.
fish?
Feel like-
chips and mushy peas.
Oh, and wet pea.
and lashings of vinegar.
Oh, gross.
Get out of here. Sacrilege.
No, it's a no for vinegar.
I would assume roasted vegetables of some kind, because boy howdy, that's what the British do.
Wouldn't they be boiled?
Here's your boiled mush.
Yeah.
What was it before? I think a fish. I don't know.
I'm going to assume that it's some kind of like tuber, so potato most likely, with vegetables and like a cheese sauce maybe. I don't want recipes. I just want to know.
I don't know if I can't believe you haven't thought of a 1920s full meal for us. This is shocking.
Thanks. How dare I not do deep dive research? How dare I?
I just imagine you looking at all these recipes for like, but what if they ask? And then we just never ask again.
Just like look up I don't know, Mrs. Beeton's cookbook or something.
Yeah, it's a good point actually.
Mrs.
There you go.
Beeton's family cookery.
Angel says roasted veg and potatoes.
Okay, well, sure.
Scallions. It'd probably be a bucket of lard. Eat your lard. Shut up. Your bread and lard. Oh god.
That is disgusting. Thanks for that.
A
I mean,
bucket of lard.
It's the past. 8.
They still knew how to make tasty food.
They really
just
did.
How can we make it tasty? We add fat until it's tasty.
Okay, so, yeah, here we go. So, the top end of the table.
Derailed. Yes.
This is going to be out of season.
I'm sorry, I've derailed everything.
No, that's fine. The top end of the table are eating cod's head and shoulders.
Oh.
With cut lemon, horseradish cod roe, and liver.
Oh, that is
Fancy.
quite decadent.
And the bottom end of the table are having boiled cod with salt that has been salted, served with egg sauce and parsnips.
What end of the table are we at?
Andrew and Alexander are the cod's head and shoulders with roe and liver. And, I assume it's cod liver. And the bottom end of the table are having there is a melted butter to go with it.
Ooh.
And the other end, the bottom end, they're just having boiled cod with parsnips.
Fair enough.
Some of this is making me really hungry. I'm going to get away from Mrs. Bean now.
Yeah, don't do George Martin and spend like 20 minutes describing a single meal.
But there are like large serving dishes in the middle of the table with the roasted veg. I'm glad that my understanding of such things tallies with Angel's and Astelbadeos's.
I mean, pretty much it's better than mine. You could have said anything, I believe.
Yeah, but Angel and I watch a lot of like period stuff, so. Anyway, that is what you are eating.
Excellent.
The conversations continue. It's all small talk. You can partake.
Oh yes.
I guess that's the right word. You can partake in the small talk as much or as little as you wish. No one's really pressuring you into socializing. You get a couple of worried glances and like, "Are you okay?" from a neighbor, particularly John as he went to the doctor.
Can I ask the general his name, or the army guy?
That would require speaking up the table a bit, but you can.
Oh, but if I'm not close to him, I won't bother.
No, he's like 3 places up from you on the opposite side of the table.
Gross. Who's next to me?
On one side you have Andrew, and on the other you have a large barrel-chested man, like square features. You would recognize the purplish bruising on his face as signs of alcohol abuse, like burst veins. And he's got like square hands, stubby fingers. He's eating with much gusto.
I'll nod to him. I'll give him a manly 1920s nod.
He gives you the nod back.
Nice. We're best friends now.
Essentially, yeah. He's going to jump on a grenade for you if such a thing is required.
Yeah. What's his birthday? Don't know, but he was the best man at my wedding and godfather to my child. But don't know.
Oh, and how'd you meet?
Don't know his second name.
A dinner party. We had the nod. That was it.
Eyes met over the boiled cod. As they say, the rest is history.
Would you like to do anything at the meal?
No, I would just be listening in. I'm especially listening if anyone's talking about the town itself.
Okay.
Just if anyone's got any like insight, if anyone says anything about any places or people who are in Hollows Point, I'd be just because I'm trying to learn about where we actually are. I guess we wouldn't know that much.
That is fine. The woman who gave you the it took you long enough look, she appears to be the most overtly wealthiest dressed. That's not the right way of phrasing it. Most ostentatiously dressed person there. Gosh, what did I call her? Charlotte. You learn from just overhearing, eavesdropping. Essentially, that's what you're doing. You're eavesdropping.
Yes, definitely.
Her the young man to her side, who she appears to be flirting with, is interested in similar matters. And he calls her Charlotte, so you have at least her given name. She talks about Turner's Groceries being reliable, if a little overpriced, darling. Dr. Campbell's rather good at his job. If his hands aren't as stable as they were when I arrived, let's say.
Did she say that with a wink?
No. The way she says it also indicates possibly that she has That it's been a while since she arrived.
Hmm.
But much like in this time period, like, it's not unknown for people of means to just live in hotels. So maybe she just lives here as like a permanent guest.
Oh God, wouldn't that be amazing?
You learn also that Melville has been doing a wonderful job as the new harbour master and is particularly good at situating guests with sympathetic crew, fishing crews. As in CREWS, not cruise ship kind of cruise.
Okay.
And that in the wake of the previous police officer's retirement, young Ms. Wick has taken to sleeping in the bathhouse to protect the delicate machinery of the new method of heating.
Oh.
She also greatly espouses the bathhouse as just like the place to go, darling.
She's been sleeping in the bathhouse to protect the new method of heating.
Yes. From theft. It's delivered in the tone of voice of one who absolutely knows what they're talking about when she has zero knowledge of what she's talking about.
Right. Okay. So all right. I was gonna ask if I could do some sort of like insight thing, but if I can tell that she doesn't really know, then yeah, I won't bother.
It's one of those where it's super conspiratorial. That she's sleeping there to protect the secrets, kind of thing.
Yeah. I find that all very interesting, and I'm gonna mentally make a note to check out the bathhouse because that sounds quite interesting.
Okay.
And to look for was it Miss Wick? You said.
Yes, the young Miss Wick.
The young Miss Wick. Okay.
You gather that she is a local. Whether that means she's hired help and she lives here, or like she was born in the village, or no, she might have been, but has grown up in the village. Let's say.
I'm not going to ask any questions or anything. I just want to listen, but I don't want to I don't want anyone to sort of realise that I'm. As you said, eavesdropping, to put it politely.
That is fine.
It's not really eavesdropping if it's like at a big table. It's more like you're just there.
True.
Let's see how successful you are at hiding what you're doing. It's your choice. You can use listen or stealth. I don't mind either way.
Listen.
So you failed listening.
I failed at listening across the table.
Well,
hang on. I'm going to use luck to pass instead. So do I just take off as many luck points as I need to get it to 45?
Yes.
Is that how that works? Okay.
Yeah, so
I 6.
Yeah, sorry, to get 45. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, so you lower your thing by 6 and you succeed.
Great.
Essentially, it was like if you had failed, you would just be noticed.
Sorry, you're right. It's 7. My luck points were 51. The score I got was 52. So I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, sure. So okay. So I succeeded. Thank you. Yay! It's great.
But by shouting "Yay, I succeeded!"
Gosh darn it.
Where was I? Yes. Yeah, if you had failed, people would have just noticed you eavesdropping. That's all it is. You would not have been like, I don't hear anything, I'm just eating. No.
Yeah.
But you successfully hide your eavesdropping from company. John and Alexander doing anything in particular, or you just eating?
Just nodding at that guy and eating. That's what
I'm eating and just making small talk with those around me as best I can.
Okay. So John is to your right. Alexander is opposite you. The person to your left is here for a similar reason. They were ill recently, but on the continent, and they came here for the fresh air.
Well, I can kind of relate, and I tell them that I was ill last winter, and I'm finding this winter particularly difficult, so I've come to the coast for much the same reason.
A lot of people here are like middle-aged or up. He kind of nods. I've heard the steam room in the bathhouse is particularly good for
Yes,
clearing the chest.
That was mostly the reason I booked Harlow's Point specifically. Was I heard and read about this new method of heating they have and how wondrous their bathhouse is, and I intend to make full use of it.
He nods wisely, and in agreement. The main is finished. Dessert is served. It is, it's still roughly the same thing, but half of the table gets a low quality version of it. And as the meal is finished, the guy who had accompanied you with the torch, he stands up and kind of knife gently on wine glass. No, he has like a tiny handbell he rings. Ladies, gentlemen, it brings me... ladies, gentlemen, and then Charlotte, to which the ostentatiously dressed woman just inclines her head. It brings me no small amount of pleasure to welcome you here to our humble venture in Hollows Point. Hopefully merely the first of many holiday villages, but we're going to be going a few years to good reviews and some small turnover. Yeah, she gets her a nod how long she's been there, as Angel Wraith points out. To no small turnover, thanks in no small part to the new method created by our own in-house plumber, and he kind of gestures with his wine glass, which is picked up to a person at the far end of the table sitting near his wife, Mr. Gates. We will be forever indebted to him for such a cost-effective manner of warming the baths. Whilst here, please do take care to remain outside of private properties, as the pamphlets that were distributed upon you via this country's great postal service upon payment indicate any property that does not possess a sign declaring its purpose is private. Please do not enter unless you are invited, and please do not try to cause trouble with the locals. If there is a sign, and he kind of gestures to a... sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. If there is a sign displaying our logo, please feel free that we are in agreement with that business's or property's owner that you have access to it. Of most immediate note, and he gestures to the... Just seeing Andrew's comment in chat. He gestures to the barrel-chested man sitting next to John. Turner's Groceries offers most of the amenities that you would expect at most affordable prices. Dr. Campbell's practice will be open from tomorrow morning, and he keeps practice between the hours of 9 to 5. If you have any emergencies, please do not hesitate to contact the hall. We will be able to arrange some sort of assistance, whether it is rousing the doctor from his sleep, as we have had to do in the past, or simply disturbing his evening meal, as we were unfortunately required to do this evening. If you require the services of the police, each property has a telephone with a direct line to the police station. I believe I see our new police officer among us now, and he looks pointedly at John.
I'll do a little hand up, nod.
I am happy to say that that the crime rate in Hollows Point is non-existent, but things do happen occasionally, and in the past I am informed that the previous owners of this hall were required to deal with smugglers, so perhaps that kind of situation could occur. And he kind of looks around for like an on cue gasp from people present. But hopefully it does not. I will ask that you do not interfere with the lighthouse keeper's duty. He, well, he's in the lighthouse right now, which is rather a good thing, because without him, several of the local ferries would regrettably end up on the rocks in the bay. Is that an in-character laugh, or are you just laughing?
Both. I don't know. No, sorry. I just thought it was really funny the way you just said that. Sorry, I like it. Yeah, that could be in character. I don't mind.
Okay.
I'll just have a little chuckle to myself. I'll be like,
He gives you like a moment to get over the chuckle. Should the weather be better on the morrow, please do feel free to leave the village. There are several nature trails clearly signposted and marked that can provide a morning, an afternoon, perhaps even a day's worth of exercise through the wonderful local countryside. If you are of a less ambulatory nature, several of the farms do offer their horses for hire for quite reasonable rates. And of course, if you wish to sample the local colour, shall we say, Mr. Melville, the local harbour master, has agreements with many of the local fishing crews to place guests, residents such as yourself, upon their vessels, allowing you to go through a day in the life of a local. It's quite a popular scheme that we operate here. Of course, I would be remiss if I were not to mention the bathhouse again. It is really quite something. We sounds delightful. Yeah, just slumming it. We transport the water from the river via underground pipes. It is kept as clean as it comes. Our farmers are all under, and he pauses as if searching for the correct word, are all under rather strict contracts to do everything within their power to prevent their livestock from fouling the water in any way. So do not be alarmed when you see how far the bathhouse is from the river. I assure you the water is fresh from the source. A geologist has assured us that it is from a natural spring somewhere in the mountains, and that it is of the purest quality. And of course, if bathing your worries away, or walking, or riding horses, or serving on the fishing crew is not to your taste, my wife and I offer a wide range of indoor diversions and distractions in the hall itself. Most particularly, please do feel free to make use of the games room. We have a fully stocked liquor bar in there for those of you who might like the odd tipple while you play cards, pool, billiards, snookers, darts. And my wife runs a wide range of arts and crafts workshops, all materials provided, of course, thanks to your payment fee, your fees. But we truly do wish you the best of times whilst you are here in Harlow's Point. Your name cards, if you take them from wherever you have stowed them, you will find the address of your house during your stay, and your key taped to the inside, affixed to the inside of your name card. And lo, if should you do that, it is. With directions from the hall as well.
oh,
As there's like a susurrus, a murmuration of people checking name cards and comparing addresses with people on either side of them. He kind of lets that play out, and then kind of resumes speaking. The locals from time to time do have traditions or customs that may seem strange. We ask that you do not obstruct them in any way. These are people who have lived on this peninsula for, in some cases, many centuries. The families have been here, and they are used to dealing with the rigors of life in such a place, well, we are rather dependent on their continued goodwill. They do own the land here, we are merely tenants. So please do not do anything that would reflect badly on us, because if you do, we cannot guarantee that such a venture can continue. Of more importance, as I've noticed several of you are enjoying the alcohol on offer this evening, please do take utmost care on your journey tonight to your residence, and I ask, implore even, that you do not go poking around the ruins of the church in the village square until the morrow at the earliest.
Well, I absolutely know what I'm doing first.
I mean, my plan was always to go to the church before anything else, but now you've said that.
It's entirely up to you. He kind of lets people kind of register the fact. It would be a shame to impose upon the good doctor twice in one evening. It kind of like raises a toast to your health and good times. After you've enjoyed this wonderful dessert in front of you, there will be drinks and games in the games room. You're all welcome there if you have any. If you wish to get to know your fellow guests better, or you have any questions for myself, my wife, and he gestures to the woman at the far end of the table, or the staff. If you do not wish to, please don't get lost on your way to your residences. It would be a shame for me to have to put my winter coat on again after I've warmed up from my journey earlier. And then kind of sits down and starts eating his dessert.
Now I'm imagining him completely naked, and
Oh
he's
my
just like, oh, it'd be a shame if I had to put my clothes on again. Everyone's like, wait, what? What are you taking them off
What
for?
sort of holiday
Secretly,
destination have we gone
Windows
to? It's yeah.
It's butt
Carry.
rings.
Hey, very good.
Carry on camping.
God, no.
Yes, so are any of you going to the after dinner mingle, or are you just...
Oh, yes. That
Okay.
sounds up my alley.
I'd probably go for a short time, but not. I wouldn't be hanging around too long. I'd go and just see what people are discussing.
Yeah, that's
Am I
fine.
allowed as an employee?
Yes, because you aren't an employee of the company. You're an employee of the crown. So
Of course. I have to go to the party on behalf of the Queen.
of course, when you put it that
The
way.
King. The King?
King at this
king,
point. Yeah, I think it'd be
yes.
what, George?
George, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know because we all live it, so that makes sense.
Really? Because you are a servant of the crown rather than a guest, kind of, just for ease, you would have been briefed that you are, I guess, allowed special privileges. You're like a staff plus. George the Fifth, specifically.
Yes.
Let's see if I know that. No.
The occult?
I mean, it's
Yeah.
the monarchy, right?
Yeah. Haven't you seen that Doctor Who episode where
They're lizard people.
they're all werewolves? That was in Doctor Who. I didn't make that up.
No,
Was
no,
it?
that was also
yeah.
that was Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and her children.
That's true. That's true.
And descendant of her children is George the
George the Fifth.
Fifth.
Yeah.
Snap! I knew a history.
Oh dang, son.
I mean, it was because of Doctor Who, but I'll take it.
That's how I know most of my history.
Wait a minute,
And the future as well.
the Dalek invasion of the 60s didn't actually happen? What?
Good lord.
There might have been a bit of historical revisionism in there. So you're all mingling, then, is what I'm taking.
Oh
from
yes.
that. Descendants of Victorious, pretty much all of the monarchies left in the world. You're not wrong, Angel Wraith. You are not wrong. It's what you would expect from an after dinner mingle. The games room is impressive. There's looking around. This is probably either a couple of rooms that have had the adjoining walls knocked out, or just converted from one bigger room. It's got 3 full-size snooker tables, enough queues for let's say 10 people to play. Varying sizes, obviously, because sometimes you need a shorter queue. Plenty of different sets that you could play pool or snooker or billiards, because they all use different balls, because that's not confusing. A couple of darts sets. There is, in fact, a small bar with a staff member behind it, kind of very attentive. There is, for this event, a side a side table laid with just finger food, of a middle way between savoury and sweet nature, because this is after dinner food, and obviously I say drinks. The manager, the guy with the torch, he kind of, essentially, as everyone follows him into the room, just turns and, well, this is the games room. I assure you, when it is not snowing outside, there is a wonderful view of the lawns, with the decorative lighting. And he kind of gestures to these huge glass windows, bay glass windows, with the bay being a bench, through which you can just see snow falling, in a midnight blue darkness. Regrettably, the weather has not decided to favour us this evening, but I do assure you it is there, and mayhaps tomorrow the snow will have ceased and you'll be able to see the wondrous grounds. The bar is open for you this evening, and is open after dinner every evening of your stay. It is not covered by your fees. You will have to contribute towards the cost of your drinks.
Oh, I see how that is.
But you may order food here, from the kitchens also. That said, and he gestures to the side table, that spread is on the house for this evening. Make merry. And he kind of turns and starts assembling a pool triangle and filling it with balls and getting ready to play a game of pool.
Oh, excellent.
I should say the bar also does have a limited selection of cigars on it. The sideboard also has some cigars. They look of less quality, but still there. And there are a couple of small felt-covered tables, presumably for playing cards or mahjong or dominoes, that kind of thing.
Table tennis table.
You mean wiffle bat? I start inquiring about if there's a library that guests are allowed to use. So I'm very interested in just reading.
Who are you asking? Right now there are staff. There is the manager Sebastian, his wife, who he's introduced as Lottie.
I think I'll start with Sebastian or Lottie.
Okay. You said Sebastian's first, so I just assumed that you're going to ask him.
Yes.
As he's lining up to break, he kind of nods, lowers the cue so he can take the cigar out of his mouth. It's not lit. He's just kind of getting ready to smoke it. The library would be on the first floor, sir. You are welcome to use it, provided you are careful with the volumes contained.
Almost certainly.
A member of the company's staff is there for the vast majority of the time, from the hours of 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. I should say. 2 hours would not be long enough to read. To fetch any volumes you may require, or to regrettably provide a layer of security. We've had some thefts previously and have decided to take matters into our own hands, so to speak. But you are welcome to the use of the library. It is one of the few doors on the first floor that has its doors open during the day, shall we say. The others being the other doors being closed due to being private or very clearly marked water closets.
Excellent. Thank you, my good man, Sebastian. Enjoy your game.
Yeah, he nods and sorts out cutting off the end of his cigar and lighting it.
I think I'll go to the bar and purchase a cigar.
Okay, a cigar is
fitting.
Provided. The man behind the bar it also kind of offers you a box of matches and a cigar clipper.
Fantastic.
Obviously, expecting them back, but
Yes. Well, I light up the cigar and hand the matches and cut her back.
Okay.
I'm going to inquire whereabouts are we staying. I'd probably ask Sebastian that, as he is the one who seems to be in charge.
What do you mean? Because you had your name card had the address of your house.
Oh right, okay, sorry. Yeah. Does it? Well, does it have directions?
It has like directions to the street.
Okay.
And then from there, you can presumably just find the number. I mean, you can see the map. It's not a very large place, so.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay. Oh, in that case, then I'd probably have a short drink, but wouldn't stay very long, and maybe head back to where I'm meant to be staying, because I want to get up early and explore. Are the windows in here? Is it dark outside? Is it?
Yes, it is dark outside. It is. By this point, it would be like 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night, and on the winter solstice. So the sun's been down a while. The snow clouds are thinning. The snow is still falling quite rapidly, but it's not as much now. And it is letting the moon through, so you've got kind of like a lovely silvery glow through the snow, reflecting off of the snow outside the window that you can see by, but it's dark out, so you'll need to be careful.
Yeah, I think I'd make my excuses and go to leave. My coat and briefcase still where I left them?
They are where you left them. As far as you can tell, they've not been touched.
Yeah, I would check with the lock on it to make sure no one's been trying to fiddle with it. Yeah, if I can't tell anything, I'd head out into the street. Is there anyone around outside?
No. Pretty much everyone went to the mingle after dinner. There are staff nearby if you wanted someone to help you with something, but there's no one immediately outside.
No. Where does it say that I'm staying on the cars? Like on the map, whereabouts would it be?
Let us say, how much money would you have put into this?
Ooh, let's see. I can tell you how much money I have. Assets, $1,500. Wow. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So for chat's benefit more than anything, the default assumption is America, so everything's in dollars. Where is the table?
I'm assuming it says that, but then so I've got $60 in cash, and my spending level is $10. What does that mean?
So you can buy up to $10 worth of stuff without keeping track of it. and you
Ah,
have
okay.
$60 easily accessible for purchases.
Okay. How long would we have been like planning on staying here?
It's a week's holiday.
It's a week's holiday. I'd have probably paid quite a bit, because if I've got the cash and I don't really spend it too much back in the library, so I'd have probably put in quite a bit. I'd have wanted to be comfortable whilst I was here.
Okay. I can't. After a real quick search, I can't find the the credit rating table. So let us say that you are in, let's say, this building.
In there, okay, sure. I would walk.
This is the bathhouse, by the way. This building right outside.
Oh, so my one's right next to the bathhouse, just on the other side of the wall. Ooh.
Lucky man.
Yeah, I would. I'd walk down through the middle past the old church. Now, when I get to near the church, I'd take a quick look around to see if there's anyone watching me or following me.
Make a, I guess, spot hidden check, please.
Okay, that's something I'm quite good at. Yep.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh, what does 2 stars mean?
I think it's like degrees of success.
Oh, okay. So quite good then.
Yeah. If you hover over
than...
it says two levels of success.
Okay, great.
As far as you can tell,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's pretty dark. I should have made you roll like a hard difficulty, but that's by the by. It's pretty dark. The snow is falling. As I say, there's like a silver glow as the moon shines off of the snow, which is thick on the ground by this point.
Mm.
But you can't see anyone nearby or following you.
Okay. I'm gonna sort of walk around it, and just try and peek in. Is there any gaps I can see through? Is there anything I can, without necessarily get too close? I realise that I'm leaving footprints in the snow, I'm guessing, so I don't want to be So I'm not getting too close to it. I'm just gonna walk around the outside, almost like I've just gone the wrong way, and then I'll circle back around.
No, that's fine. In that case, can I have a spot hidden, but at I want to give you the right name for this. We'll say a hard difficulty.
Hard. So does that make? What does that do?
It uses the half value.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And then extreme is the 5th value.
So the half value would have been what, 35 instead of 70, but I got 21.
Yeah, you're good. So walking around it as if like you've temporarily gone the wrong way. It's where the walls would have holes in, they've just kind of boarded over them, but they don't look like they're terribly secure. It's more meant as a deterrent than a serious effort to keep people out, possibly.
Uh-huh.
And there is a door, and there are windows that are similarly boarded over. But all of the boarding is done from the outside. All the boarding is done from the inside, but as I say, it doesn't look like it. They're not terribly thick planks as far as you can tell. So if you wanted to, you could probably get in. Also,
all of the boarding's done from the inside, because that would mean there's still someone inside.
Well, there's a door. So
right, okay.
But
help me.
The half of the roof furthest from the bell tower is missing as well.
Okay. But I can't make out any movement, discern anything in particular that seems that this is just a dilapidated church.
Yeah, it's just a ruined church. From the outside, anyway.
Yeah. With it being quite dark, I'm just gonna leave it and head to my lodgings. I don't want to be getting in trouble on my first night. But again, as I walk past it, I'm not gonna get too close. I'm gonna maybe walk back and forth a little bit, like I am lost, so the footprints look a bit. I don't want anyone thinking that I've been doing something I shouldn't have been do.
No, that is
And
perfectly
then
fair.
head over to my lodgings for the evening, settle in. And when I get in, I would open the case and make sure that everything is in there, including the handgun that I brought.
Yes, your case has not been opened. Everything is
Yeah.
as you left it.
Okay.
There is also like a welcome pack that has a map of the town and the relevant people to speak to for various activities and where you can find those activities, as well as a small like basket of food essentially and alcohol.
Lovely.
Nice.
This is one of those places where you can go to the hall and pay for meals, or you can buy food from the grocers and cook the food in your residence if you wish to do self-catered.
Oh.
Great.
Uh,
But yeah, that's me really. Settled for the night.
okay, and John, what is John doing?
In this games room, the last games room I went to had a Wii Sports. Do they have Wii Sports?
Astonishingly, no.
Do they have like the 1920s version? I guess it's just called Sports.
Yeah, they have the 1920s version of Wii Sports Archery. It's called Darts.
Yeah, I'll be playing darts
Okay.
with my good pal Greengrocer guy.
Okay.
Greengrocer guy.
Was that the one who was like drunk and
the one who was next to you? Yes.
Yeah. I'm playing darts with him. We haven't said anything to each other. Do I have a key that says where I live?
Yes, you do.
Lovely stuff. I think I'll do a similar thing to, and go out and go to where I live. Whereabouts do I live compared to the hall? Probably commoners area, isn't it? If it's a house given to me.
You are in fact in a house shared down here.
Yeah. Okay. And
it's next to the police station, which is the building up here.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I'm gonna go past the broken down church. I'm not gonna do it sneaky because I'm the policeman. I have I can walk around. I'm gonna be spinning a truncheon, whistling. I got my police hat on. I don't think it would have like an alarm lights on it back then. Maybe just a candle on the top. But... So I'm gonna have a quick look at the church.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Is there a graveyard?
There is, yes. It's a very small one.
I'm gonna have a little look around the graveyard.
Okay. It's kind of like this edge of this patch of parkland, essentially, with the church being built like up to the edge of the parkland and the graveyard attached.
Lots of graves, I guess. Anything stick out? Are they well looked after, or are they left to ruin?
As far as you can tell, because they're covered in snow, but like if you brush any of them off, they're reasonably well maintained. There's very little there's very little greenery on the stones themselves. If you kind of kick the snow aside, the grass is at a decent length.
Okay. I'm going to make a mental note that it's a bit weird that the graves so well laid out, but the actual church is in ruin. Just going to make a little mental note of that.
Most of the dates on the headstones are from like the 1700s.
So there might be a newer gravestone. Wait. Graveyard.
Graveyard. So do you mean graveyard?
I forgot the word for graveyard.
Oh no.
Hey, it's been a long time since I was emo teen going through graveyard.
Which, if anyone gets the chance to do it, Cardiff has a great graveyard. Cardiff Cemetery is amazing.
Yeah, it is a good one. I mean, can't go there now.
Well, yeah, obviously.
No, it's dark and cold, and
Well, yeah, that is also true. There's one by my friend's house when we were young, and we like 100% did the, hanging out in graveyards thing. And then someone was like, "Whoa, that's so like emo." We were like, "Well, no, it's just like a park. It's literally a park." It's like Anyway, that's not the story. So yeah, I'll have a little investigate of the actual church itself. I'm guessing the green ghost guy, is he still with me or is he gone? I didn't really think about that.
It's entirely up to you. Did he leave with you?
Where's he? Does he live on the way? I'm not inviting him home. I'm not that easy.
Like he sort of lives on the way, in that he lives above his shop, which is somewhere over this side of the village.
Oh, right. So that's where we split. That's where we split and say goodnight. I'll just say to him, is there another church? I'm a bit of a religious man. I like to go to church.
He has had probably the most of anyone there, and he's kind of swaying a little bit, and he just points unsteadily, kind of to the south, where there's a road out of the village. Is on the hill over there.
And what about this one? Why is this one not used?
This is bad luck.
Oh. Oh well, yeah, fair enough then. And I don't want to ask him too much,
That's fair.
So I just sort of go my separate ways, and Did you say it was a house share?
Yes, you are in fact sharing. Much as you were sharing office space with the harbour master, you share a house with the harbour master. Basically, you have
stinks of fish in there.
Harbour master is an administrative position.
Yeah, but
it's one of those where you've got a couple of rooms privately and then shared common rooms.
Oh, okay. So it's not like I have to rush in to get top bunk. Sort of
No. You've got your own bedroom stuff.
Okay, cool. Because the last house share I was sort of involved in real life, it was one guy would have the bed in the day and one guy would have the bed in the night, and that was a bit odd. So it's good to see the.
Did you live in a submarine?
No, not submarine. That's insane. Compared to playing Wii Sports in the 1920s, which is perfectly sane. Anyway, yeah, so I'll just go home and is my room nice?
Reasonably so, yeah.
I think it's better than from the big city where I came from.
Yeah, it's comfortably appointed, but it's pretty plain.
Nice. Okay, I'll make a little note about church's bad luck and question marks around it. In my little notepad I've got. Because I'm a policeman. Here's a notepad. And yeah, I just settle up for the night. Lovely stuff. Wait, what time have I been told what time I have to start policemaning?
Policeman-ing.
We'll just say that it's just quote unquote normal office hours.
Yeah, no. I was just gonna be like, oh, I'll go to bed early, so I wake up early for the day, and then if you were like, you have the nighttime shift, how I meant to be working right then.
No,
It's like
you are the police force in this village.
Oh, it is 100% going to my head. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put the word headwas everywhere. Headwas, so it's all in Welsh now. No English in the town. Sorry.
Dude, I know you're Welsh, and obviously you should know better than me, but isn't it a Hethless?
Yeah, I know. I was waiting for you to say that right, and it was good. I was like, yes!
It's still weird not seeing Hethley on the police cars.
An ambulance, but
yes.
spelled...
Ambiwans. Or however it's spelled, I forget.
Yeah. It's the same as English, said, but...
Spelling sure ain't.
Well, yeah. Different letters, isn't it?
Let's throw a W in there and replace the C with an S. That's fine.
There's no C's. There's no C's in Welsh.
That is true.
Or is it K's?
Well,
No
no, there's
K's
no
involved.
Welsh C. You're
It's
absolutely
K,
correct.
because Cymru has a C.
Yeah, there's no K's in Welsh. That's the one.
Anyway, yes. As I say, it is plain, but it is comfortable, and you go
Nice.
rest for the evening, for the night. I assume eventually that Andrew also leaves and heads.
Oh
to
yes, he
his
he
residence.
sees the other two leave, but he doesn't stay much longer after he has a cigar and a couple of drinks, and then makes his way to his residence.
Same question. How much would he have put in?
How much did John and Alexander say?
I put in quite a bit because I have quite a bit of money and don't really spend it at any other time.
I mean, you said you had $1,500 of assets. Well, guess how much I've got?
More,
God.
if I recall correctly.
25,000.
25,000! Oh my god. You own the town.
Is that? I heard though that an elephant gun costs at least that much.
Yeah, I want to have gone like ultra lavish. Like I'm not trying to, and like I'm getting on in years, so I need to like my working life and income is coming to its end, so I need to be a little careful. But it's I'm wanting to be comfortable, also try and make myself feel better. So it's probably a good chunk of
That much money, you'd probably stay in the manor.
I mean, it's up to you. You could just have rooms in the hall.
Wow.
Yeah, let's say that.
Okay, so you're staying in the hall then.
Should have gone for a houseboat.
No,
Actually,
a
that
boat
would be
house.
awful. That'd be awful. What am I thinking?
So cold.
Yeah.
So yeah, I retire to my room.
Yep, and your room is luxurious. It is comfortable. It is the exact thing that a man of your advancing years needs to convalesce.
Excellent.
You also have like full room service and turn down
Fantastic.
stuff.
Full room service.
Would I be able to have wake up calls?
Yes, you can arrange that with the house staff.
I shall arrange a wake up call for 8:15 a.m.
Okay. And as the
Wait, did I say PM or AM?
you said AM.
Okay, good. I thought in my head I said PM.
As the snow falls on this cold, dark winter solstice in 1923, we shall end the session.
Fantastic.
Great.
Such atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Much chill.
Many vibe.
Not enough elephants for me. Just for
No, just you wait.
You haven't gone looking for the elephants.
The elephant in the room is that there was no elephant.
But that then is a paradox because there was an elephant in the room.
Oh my god.
What? The true horror.
Elephantception.
Elephantception. There's an elephant in the net. Wait.
Oh no, sorry, Schrodinger's elephant. That's what I meant to say.
It's just elephant. It's just elephants all the way down. How'd you get an elephant in a box? That's not a joke. That's a real.
Carefully.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. We really appreciate it. Hope you've enjoyed the few hours. Hopefully we'll be back in 2 weeks, but this game is cursed. Like, no joke.
Oh, I don't know. Tonight went well. Tonight was good.
Yeah.
Curse of the elephant.
Yeah.
After your computer turned on after an hour of boot up.
Yikes.
Right, yeah, but that is why I started it at like 5:30 because I knew there was going to be something. So...
Also, fun fact: Schrodinger's cat would not be an expression in 1923.
Not happened yet?
No, he didn't do it till 35.
Oh.
Yeah, but you remember we're coming up with all this stuff. This is like
Oh, yeah,
universe.
right.
Yeah, Schrodinger's cat did exist then. It was just like a normal cat. It was just like, have you seen Schrodinger's cat? Yeah, he's got a kitten. What
I mean, clearly it's McCall's elephant.
Indeed. I was about to say McCall's elephant.
What even is this?
Oh man,
This is a
elephants
horror game.
everywhere. No, it's a
Hey,
comedy
hey.
game now.
Elephants. Imagine, like the Romans took elephants to all these places to invade. They were pretty horrific. Imagine you've never seen or heard of an elephant
I mean,
before.
that's
and then you
true.
see that
I'd be
bastard
terrified.
coming up to you. And elephants are bastards. That's a fact.
Elephants are sweet
well,
and pure.
yeah,
Dave.
I've met
They
an
don't recognise
elephant.
marriage. They're all bastards.
Yeah. And this girl was like going up to it, and the guy was like, "It's fine. It just sort of smacked the girl." And I did respect the elephant more then, but it was a bastard. My respect.
Also, Ryan, you are technically correct, and that is the best kind of correct.
Exactly. One, Unstable Dallas has raised a good point, in which we have the opportunity to improve the thought experiment before cats win the day. So, track down Schrödinger, convince him that elephants are the thing. And two, there's a family anecdote. I don't really remember it because I was 2 at the time, but we went to a zoo, and this was like mid-90s, so it was before a lot of the health and safety stuff happened. And they had the elephants behind a ditch, so they couldn't get out, but still close enough that they could reach people who were standing too close. And one of them reached out, knocked my dad's hat off, and then just sneezed on his head.
Oh, no.
So, does that.
And now your dad has an elephant gun. Who wins?
One sneezy boy or one human?
He's like, it's never happening again. Yeah, but imagine a sneeze off an elephant. They've got huge noses. Oh my god.
Oh, you'd get drenched. Oh, horrific.
There's the horror.
That's the
no.
horror. The bad guy's an elephant with a cold. Oh god.
Anyway, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you everyone for putting up with this, I guess.
My sanity points have gone down in real life.
See you next time.
Yes,
audience.
hopefully see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Obviously, I'll be here on...
2 weeks.
Yes, my dad had the Jurassic Park Lexi experience, exactly. I will hopefully be back on Tuesday for my usual stream schedule, but do you have anything to say to chat before I end the stream?
Don't trust elephants.
No.
Okay, we'll see you all around. Goodbye.
Bye.